What's going on, champs and champettes? It's FireMonkey here, and have you ever tried to play a Fortnite map, particularly PvP maps in creative mode, and you see weird little devices and stuff going on where they try to stop you, even in death runs before this has happened, back when we had the support a creator device, where they tell you, hey, wait, before you continue, if you want to get some extra XP, or if you want to get an exclusive item or something, you have to like this map, you have to favorite it, you have to do these steps first. Sometimes they have it just on a timer, so if you sit there for long enough, it eventually does just give you it anyways, but other times they actually don't give you anything at all, and instead they just want you to like and favorite certain maps for the sake of liking and favoriting them for the creator to actually get more favorites and to get more promotion on their map through deceptive practices. Well, this is going to be changing very soon, according to the official FN Create Twitter account, assuming that they go through with what they say and actually put more moderation into everything going on here. So what actually happened here? What was the post about and everything else, right? Well, Fortnite Creative official Twitter account posted earlier today, around 2 hours ago, the following tweet. Reminder, tricking players by asking them to like or favorite an island for a fake reward isn't cool and is in violation of our rules. These scams are not allowed, and we're not allowed basically to do it, right? I kind of paraphrase there, but it's basically just, hey, these are scams and we don't allow scams on our platform. They also mentioned that creators should remove these elements as soon as possible to avoid an overall bad time, and that their moderation team will be escalating penalties, including but not limited to removal of monetization or impacting someone's monetization so it's limited and they don't earn as much money anymore from their map, doing things such as removing their island and potentially even suspending people's creator accounts. I don't know if that means your entire Fortnite account would be suspended or if just your ability to create Fortnite maps and publish them would be, but it is interesting to see how they're actually going through and kind of, making a public statement being like, hey, they've seen these deceptive practices being used recently, we've seen them used before, and we don't allow them because they're basically scams just to try earning you, the creator, more money through scammy methods, right? Through shady methods that you shouldn't even have to be doing in the first place. And hopefully they actually stand by this and they actually continue to escalate their moderation statuses and stuff regarding how these scams and all this type of stuff goes on, so that people who actually try using these deceptive practices actually get consequences for the actions they're doing. Because it's been very weird in the Fortnite community recently, especially when it comes to creative map making, because it isn't just people trying to do deceptive practices to get favorites and likes on their map so it gets promoted more and more. No, instead it's also other stuff going on, right? We have false takedowns on people's maps or whatever else based on genres happening. We have a lot of just craziness going on in the community, and whenever you get a false takedown on your map, it basically stunts its growth, right? Because even if it gets reviewed and appealed and everything else later down the line, it does make it so that your map is just kind of stuck in the void, because if your map's been gone for a while after already being popular, people are going to move on. Discovery's not going to promote it or anything anymore because it had a rough launch, it had a moment where it's just completely unavailable, and it just kind of becomes a dead on return instead of, like a dead on arrival thing that you can't really recover from. And because of that, some people have been actually abusing the creative systems while also breaking the own terms and guidelines of creative mode themselves in order to make it so that their maps end up showing up more and more, because all the competition that they might have had just kind of get falsely taken down or have all these slight issues going on with it that never should have happened to begin with. And I think it's super interesting to see all this happen because of recent online drama that's gone on regarding the creative community, and to see how Epic Games themselves are in some cases actually publicly responding to it and trying to make new changes and make changes to their moderation and everything else and work on the system so that this type of stuff doesn't happen in the future. Now, there has been a question I've seen asked on Twitter which basically states the following: if you have a like and favorite panel on your island that isn't invasive, right? It isn't a scam or something, but it's just instead telling someone, hey, if you like the map, consider liking and favoriting it. Will I get banned for this? Will I have a penalty applied on my account because of this? And according to Fortnite Creative themselves, that is completely fine. Where it becomes not fine is when you have that panel being like and favorite this map if you enjoyed it, but you change it up so instead of being about, oh hey, if you enjoyed it, you make it like, oh hey, like and favorite this map in order to get a Zeus Thunderbolt for free or something. That is when it becomes a scam, because you're not actually going to be able to have a system in place where you give someone a Zeus Thunderbolt for liking and favoring it, because as far as I'm aware, especially with how UEFN works, there's no data you can actually track when those buttons are pressed. So if you're someone out there who saw this video, you saw the tweets and everything, and you're worried like, oh god, now I can't tell anyone to like the map if they liked it or whatever else, don't worry. You are still able to do it. You're just not able to use it deceptively in order to try getting people to do certain actions, thinking that they're going to get a free reward or something out of it, right? That is the main focus of this whole entire change and announcement, and I do hope that, Epic Games kind of, works on their moderation system and continues improving it, because for people who don't know, I released that Lego Toy Box Arena map recently, right? I released it and it was just kind of little, like, PvP map map that you're able to go on, you know, kind of like a Lego Pro 100 or whatever else, and I was having some fun with it. Of course, you know, I had a rough launch and everything else, especially with how I accidentally released it in an unreleased state or whatever that had a lot of bugs in it and everything else, so it didn't really do too well, but I did have a lot of problems with the moderation system. I mean, there was a time when I actually submitted the same map with no changes 9 different times. Like 6 of the times it failed to actually go through, right? It got denied approval. Like 4 of the times or whatever. And by the way, the math's going to be a little off because I don't remember the exact numbers, but you know, a decent majority of the time it got denied. And sometimes it got approved, but there was an error preventing it from actually being published. And then there was a one time when it fully got approved and I kind of stopped worrying about it because, you know, it was finally out there. And it just kind of shows that there are things that they got to work on with their moderation system already. Whoa, okay. But there are things they've got to work on with their moderation already in order to make sure everything is solid and set up when, you know, everything's said and done to by 2025 or whatnot. But they are kind of going in the right direction by being like, hey, these false DMCA strikes and stuff, that's not allowed. Hey, certain things that people are trying to trademark or whatever, those are genres, not actual branding things, and tons of stuff like this. And also saying, hey, these deceptive practices, you're not allowed to do them because we will limit monetization, we will potentially delete your whole entire, you know, island, and we will potentially suspend you if things go on in their own certain ways, right? So it is nice to see that they're actually going about this and having their own ways of actually dealing with all of it, and I just hope that they stick true to their word and actually do make these changes. But yeah, if you've been seeing a lot of the creative mode drama recently, it does appear like there are changes coming down the pipeline and that these type of practices won't be allowed further anymore, as Epic Games is trying to make better systems in place so that these type of things don't actually affect a creator's livelihood. Because if you really think about it, even a fake DMCA strike that takes your map down for like a week or two, right? That is going to impact how much money you as a creator makes and could impact how many players even play that map. Because if there's a week or two that they just don't see that map there, that means that all these people who used to play it are going to have a week or two to find a replacement, and by the time they find that replacement, maybe they don't want to play your map. And there's even times when I've seen maps come back before and not show up in people's favorites anymore, right? Because it was originally taken down or whatever else. Even when the age rating system came out, there was maps that were put in people's favorites or whatnot, and it didn't get an age rating when the system changed, but when they added it later down the line, that map was removed from everyone's favorites because it technically didn't exist for a period of time. So it is interesting seeing all this go down, but with that said, hope champs and champettes enjoyed today's little video, my little yap session as usual, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow with another upload. Peace out.